The CEO noticed the man because he was late. Late for the board meeting, late for the quarterly projections, late for reminding everyone that time was money. As his town car idled at the curb, he tapped his watch and stared through the tinted window at the cause of the delay, a scruffy-looking man crossing the street far too slowly, a dog at his side. Not just any dog. A big one. Lean, muscular, ears alert, but walking with an almost lazy calm. Unbelievable, the CEO muttered. Some people have nowhere better to be. The driver chuckled politely. The CEO straightened his cufflinks, already composing a sarcastic remark he'd later recycle as an anecdote about inefficiency and discipline. When the light finally changed, the car rolled forward, passing close enough that the CEO could see the man clearly. Worn jacket. Scuffed boots. No phone in his hand. The dog glanced once at the car, then back ahead. The CEO scoffed. Probably thinks he's special because he owns a big dog. Then it happened. A sharp crack split the air. The sound didn't register at first, more like a slammed door than a gunshot. Screams followed a heartbeat later. The car lurched to a stop as people scattered across the sidewalk. The CEO froze. Across the street, a man burst out of a convenience store, waving a handgun wildly. His eyes were wide, unhinged. He yelled something unintelligible, backing away as a clerk stumbled out behind him, blood on his sleeve. Chaos erupted. The CEO's breath came shallow. He ducked instinctively, fumbling for the door lock, suddenly very aware of how thin the glass was, how useless money felt in this moment. And then he saw the dog. The scruffy man had stopped moving. His posture changed, not panicked, not confused. Calm. Focused. One hand rested lightly on the dog's collar. The armed man turned, gun swinging toward the crowd. Down, the scruffy man shouted, not in fear, but command. The dog exploded forward. It was like watching a coiled spring release. 1 second the animal was still, the next it crossed the distance in a blur of muscle and precision. The criminal barely had time to react before the dog launched upward, jaws clamping onto the man's gun arm. The gun clattered to the pavement. The force knocked the criminal backward. He screamed, flailing, but the dog held firm, twisting, dragging him down. In seconds, the man was pinned, face pressed to the concrete, the dog braced over him like a living restraint. The street went silent. People stared, frozen between terror and disbelief. The scruffy man jogged over, not rushed, not frantic. He knelt beside the struggling criminal, securing the dropped weapon, then gave a short, quiet command. The dog released instantly and sat, chest heaving, eyes locked on the man beneath him. Sirens wailed in the distance. The CEO felt his pulse pounding in his ears. He hadn't realized he was holding his breath until his lungs burned. Police arrived fast. They cuffed the criminal, took statements, praised the dog in voices edged with awe. Someone wrapped a blanket around the injured clerk. A crowd gathered, whispering, pointing. The CEO stepped out of his car without thinking. He walked toward the man he'd mocked just minutes earlier. Up close, the man didn't look scruffy so much as weathered. His eyes were steady. His hand rested on the dog's head now, fingers buried in fur. That was, the CEO stopped, searching for a word that felt adequate. That was incredible. The man shrugged. Just doing our job. Your job, the CEO echoed. The man smiled faintly. Retired K-9 unit. He doesn't like it when people wave guns around. The dog's tail thumped once against the pavement, as if in agreement. The CEO swallowed. All the jokes he'd prepared dissolved into embarrassment. I thought, he trailed off, then sighed. I was wrong. The man studied him for a moment, then nodded. Happens. Police finished up and led the criminal away. Applause broke out, hesitant at first, then growing. The dog accepted it with dignified indifference. As the man clipped the leash back on, the CEO spoke again. "What's his name?" "Atlas," the man said. The CEO smiled, genuinely this time. "Figures." As Atlas and his handler walked away, unhurried, calm, disappearing back into the ordinary rhythm of the city, the CEO stood still on the sidewalk, board meeting forgotten. For the first time in a long while, he understood something important. Power didn't always announce itself in tailored suits or luxury cars. Sometimes it walked quietly down the street, holding a leash, until it was needed. The CEO watched them go until the crowd thinned and the street began to breathe again. His driver cleared his throat. "Sir, the meeting?" The CEO glanced at his watch, then back down the block where the man and the dog had disappeared. For once, he didn't feel the usual spike of urgency. "Cancel it," he said. The driver blinked. "All of it?" "Yes." He stepped back into the car, but the glass felt different now, less like a shield, more like a reminder of how close he'd been to hiding while someone else acted. 2 days later, the story was everywhere. Security footage. Cell phone videos. Headlines praising a mysterious civilian K9 takedown. Commentators speculated wildly: former military, private security contractor, vigilante. The CEO recognized the footage instantly. Atlas hit the criminal in the same clean, decisive arc. The handler's voice cut through the chaos, calm, absolute. It was competence without spectacle. The CEO replayed it 3 times in his office. On the 4th viewing, he paused the screen and leaned back, fingers steepled. "Find him," he said to his assistant. She hesitated. "Sir?" "The man with the dog. I want to meet him." It took a week. No social media. No public records tied to his face. No interviews. Eventually, a retired police captain made the connection. "Name's Daniel Reyes," the captain said over the phone. "Good man. Best handler I ever had. He and that dog saved more lives than I can count." "Where is he now?" The captain exhaled. "Keeping a low profile. That's how he likes it." The CEO stared out at the city skyline. "Tell him I'm not looking for publicity. I'm looking to listen." They met in a small park on the edge of town. Daniel was sitting on a bench, Atlas at his feet, watching pigeons with professional suspicion. The dog's posture was relaxed, but alert, like a soldier off duty, never truly asleep. The CEO approached alone. No assistants. No driver. Daniel looked up. "You're the guy in the car." The CEO winced. "I am." Atlas lifted his head, eyes assessing, then settled again. "I owe you an apology," the CEO said. "For what I thought. For what I didn't see." Daniel studied him for a long moment. "You didn't do anything most people don't. That doesn't make it right." A corner of Daniel's mouth twitched. "Fair enough." They sat. Children laughed somewhere nearby. A jogger passed. Life continued, indifferent to titles and net worth. "You could have been hurt," the CEO said quietly. "You didn't hesitate." Daniel's hand rested on Atlas's back. "Hesitation gets people killed. Training replaces it." The CEO nodded slowly. "That's what I've been missing." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "In business?" "In leadership," the CEO corrected. "I've built systems, profits, influence. But when something real happened, I froze." Atlas's ears flicked at the word real. "I want to change that," the CEO continued. "I don't want to just look prepared. I want to be prepared." Daniel leaned back. And you think a conversation with a dog handler is the way?